Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm working on some kind of a goofy project here. We tried one of those little traps that had the water in it for the dryer, but unfortunately it didn't catch any of it. It just blows lint all over the place and it's a huge mess in here. So I'm going to put in a dryer vent that goes to the outside. Part of the reason I've been putting this off for a while is because I've got to go through the brick. It's a little bit more of a process. I've watched a couple different videos on YouTube as well to see how they did it. I've got a couple other things to contend with because I've also got a water line going out there, so I got to be careful of that. So I'm going to take my time, but we're going to show you some of the steps and how we tackle this project. Okay, so we've got everything out of the way. Went ahead and shop vac and cleaned up some of the mess here. We're obviously going to have some more cleanup at the end. Took some measurements from the outside for that water spigot, and the water spigot runs 3 feet away from the door jamb in, which puts us into this wall, which makes sense. That's probably how they did that. They just ran the water line through here because this is where the main water comes into the house. So I should be okay in this vicinity. I want to come in about 6 inches or so and up about a foot, somewhere in that vicinity. That way it gives good breathability to the outside, and I've got room to put my decorative piece on the outside of the brick. So I measured in here. Like I said, we're about 6 inches in. We're about a foot up. I'm going to drill my first hole and open up some of this space here to see what I'm looking at. And then I should be able to cut my hole and punch my first hole to the outside. So I've got my impact and probably a fairly mediocre masonry bit, which really the big thing for me is just getting the hole to the outside, making sure I'm in the right spacing. I'm going to drill some holes in the brick from the outside and then use a chisel to chisel the rest of the way around. The hole that I need to make is 4 inches. So I found this can of stain, which happens to be perfect. That's 4 inches. So I'll just center that on the hole, and that should be good enough for the project that we're working on. And the benefit of where I'm working is, even if I make a mistake in here, I don't necessarily have to re-sheetrock this. I can cover it up with something else, and this guy's going to be covering it up anyway. So this really isn't a super decorative place, and it doesn't matter if everything's perfect, which kind of fits in my wheelhouse. Chisel. I'm going to be real careful going in here. Really all I want to do is just get some exposure to see what's going on inside this wall. Some of the construction on this house is a little different than what I'm used to, so I really want to take my time. Some hand tools here so I don't do as much damage in case there's something back there I really don't want to hurt. Which is entirely possible. So yeah, we did hit a stud here, so I got to shift over a little bit, and then I'm thinking that's just insulation, but I'm going to find out a little bit more as I shift this hole over a couple more inches. So like I said, I got a lot of forgiveness here because of where it's tucked in here. You're never going to see it, and if I ever want to put something decorative around this, you know, where the hose goes to the outside, I can use a bunch of different ideas I've got for that. So when you're not great at construction, you have to be creative with your screw ups. 2x4 here is my stud, then it goes to cinder block, and then the brick is on the outside. So this is going to be quite a process getting through all of that. And I'm assuming that's probably why they didn't do it before, because this is going to be such a big progress, such a big process. I have to go through a cinder block wall, then the brick. I found this huge nail that I had. All I'm looking to do is create a hole to the outside, make sure everything looks good out there, and then I can work both angles. I can work the brick from the outside, drilling holes here, and then I can pound out holes with this and the cinder block by using these big punches and chisels that I've got to get through that, just to create a rough opening. I can fill the opening with caulk and whatever else if I have to, if it chips it and makes it too big, but the point is getting to the outside. And I'm assuming that's why it was never done before. Okay.
Just busted the brick open.
Okay, go ahead and... Okay guys, as you can see, I got the tip of that thing coming through here. So I'm gonna take and knock this out around here just to try and get to my roughly 4 inches in diameter. But now I've got a place to work, makes it 100 times easier. So I know where I'm gonna be exactly. So I'm gonna go back on the inside, hit it a couple more times so you can see it come all the way out. And here's the evidence of our hard work. We got our center point here. I'm just gonna take this guy and use it as my rough guide. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to get that hose to the outside, that flex hose. I'm not gonna chew up, 3 or 4 bricks if I don't have to. I'm just gonna drill a couple of holes with this mason bit here, so I've got a place to, a place to chisel to, and go from there. Because I don't wanna damage more than I have to. Which I was so pleased that it came out almost in the middle of that brick, because that means I just have to go into these just a little bit and these just a little bit. So that was perfect. Hey guys, got a little treat here for our family anyway for this weekend. Doing some baby back ribs. We don't typically eat a lot of pork, but every once in a while we get a hankering for some ribs. I used to be a pretty good grill cook, pretty good smoker, almost a pit master. So yeah, I take a lot of pride in what I do here. So I'm just gonna take you through some of the steps that I've got here. This is kind of winging it because I haven't really studied my recipe lately. But I know the gist of what I want to accomplish. I use some apple cider vinegar, some Worcestershire sauce, and some olive oil in here as my dressing. I also typically will baste it with some mustard. I like the flavor of the mustard. Plus the vinegar in it helps break everything down. That. Got a couple of different pre-made seasonings. I normally make my own, but we've got so many in the cupboard we want to get rid of. We're just going to use them up. And this here is really just something I put on a little bit on the back side here, just for it to break down.